Welcome back to LFG Overland and our day 3 of our ColoRADo adventure. Yesterday, we woke up in the Mineral King area, climbed up over the barren Engineer Pass, amazing views, descended down and ended up wrapping all the way around to a valley filled with river crossings as we splashed our way into camp where we're waking up today.
Good morning. We're just making some coffee. I know. Shocker, right? But, gotta say, got cold last night. I went to bed. So yesterday was kind of all rainy and drizzly. Kind of terrible outside. And stopped while I ate. It was still gray and kind of messed up outside. Woke up this morning a couple times actually. It was really cold. And I still got steam coming out of my mouth. I got a fair amount of dampness across the top of the tent, and I think there was a thin layer of ice on the inside. So the sun's on it now. Dry up any of that. Figure I'll make a cup of coffee or two, and I'll let that happen. As soon as it's dried up, we'll get on the road. All right. Well, I'll catch up with you in a bit. The new coffee cup. New coffee on the fly. In Creed. Got a new coffee while I was there too. It's called Cutthroat. So it's cocoa, toasted almonds, and caramel. Comes from Peru, Brazil, Colombia. It's their dark roast. Should be pretty fresh. All right, I think we're about there. Use AeroPress. I don't use filters though, I use a screen. One less thing to carry, one less thing to worry about, one less thing to throw away.
I do find that the AeroPress makes one of the best cups of coffee out here in the backcountry, and by replacing the paper filters by the mesh, as they call it, it really cleans up the process. I'll leave a link down below.
In business. You know, should have thought about that. Buying a white coffee cup. Should have got a black one. Oh well, whatever. Alright, so I've got to pack a few things down real quick, or at least move them away from the truck. I've got to turn the truck, because that side of the tent is nice and dry. That side of the tent still has water running down the outside of it from the condensate, from the external condensation last night. So I'm just going to clean some stuff up, just enough, so I can turn the truck around. See you in a minute.
I'm sure there's a number of people out there just laughing at me, but I know that the habitat can be put away wet. I know that when it does get put away wet, all the moisture drains out the drains in the back of the shell while you're driving. I just figured this morning, as long as I had time, I'd go ahead and dry out the material while I was packing down camp.
Everything has its place. This is one of those Step 22 Stingray flat boxes. I have 2 of them. One's mostly coffee, and it's got some extra coffee cups and some extra like bowls and stuff in here. And then I keep another one up there that actually has like a cutting board. It has cast irons in case I'm going to cook on the regular stove, and just some other odds and ends. It also holds the sensor. It's not the oxygen sensor; it's the reverse one that you use when you're running the diesel heater. So I keep that in here at all times. I've also got their chameleon box, which is more of a bag. Opens up, holds all of my knives, all my spices, all of my cooking utensils. I really like their stuff, and the guy that owns it is really solid. I had a small challenge that actually turned out to be my fault from where I was storing it on the chameleon, and once we sorted out what it was, he actually replaced it for me at no cost. He just sent me a new one. So they're a smaller company, but they're growing, so check them out. Step 22, not sponsored by any means, just I think really good people and doing really good things and bringing innovative, products, storage solutions. These things pack away to nothing, and then if you need them, you can open them up to form a box. Pretty good size. So check them out. I'm gonna finish getting stuff done here, cleaned up. That's almost dry, and I'm gonna pack this up and get on the trail. So we're making our way up Stony Pass, or from the backside, heading out to Silverton. Gonna go get some supplies, get some more water, get some more firewood, and figure out kind of where we're gonna go. But just cruising along nice and slow. A bunch of people up here hunting. I'm not sure what season it is, but I've seen a couple deer, so I'm assuming it's not deer season. What do we got here? Refuge in the Wilderness, Grassy Hill Station. So 1878, we had a station here. The mailmen braving the winter hardships, the hungry miners, weary travelers, tolling freighters, and wandering adventurers were all hosted at Grassy Hill. The station had a liquor license and was the official polling place for the San Juan County residents that lived in the east side of the range, boasting a total of 13 voters in 1879 elections. The Watsons abandoned Grassy Hill in 1882. The relentless march of time, brutal elements, and vandalism have removed virtually all the traces of those life-saving structures. Pretty interesting. Imagine that. A liquor license back in 1879. So, we're still working our way up Stony Pass. As you can see, it's pretty busy between the side-by-sides, the motorcycles, and the groups of Jeeps. So I haven't been able to really film a lot of rolling along, other than just hanging a camera out the window, because if I stop to set up a camera, then it seems that a bunch of side-by-sides or somebody will pull up behind me, and we're all out here doing the same thing. We're all out here enjoying this, and the last thing I want to do is take away from somebody else's experience because I'm trying to capture it. And I'm also kind of trying to move so I can get into town at a decent time and have some time to go, figure out what to do. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe head maybe head to a different part of Colorado. Maybe head over to Durango, or see if I can find some fun trails. I brought the trail guide with me, so I'll probably spend some time looking at that once I get into town and get situated on the things that I need. So there's a mix here across the mountainside of old, dead, what appears to have maybe burned in a fire, and a lot of regrowth. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know the history of when that fire happened, or if it was a fire. But you can see it even up on the hills above. So yeah, we're just gonna, almost fell over, just kidding. So I'm just gonna get headed up and over Stony. There is a cool mine on the other side. If no one's camping there, I'll probably stop there and check that out, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Climbing Stony Pass in an overland rig isn't just a drive. It's a rite of passage. Loose rock, steep switchbacks, and narrow ledges demand focus as you steadily gain elevation towards one of Colorado's most iconic high mountain crossings. The air grows thinner with every mile. The landscape starts to shift. Tall pines fall away, replaced by alpine tundra and low-slung wildflowers clinging to the rocky slopes. The view opens wide, peaks on all sides, skies that feel closer than the ground. You begin to understand why this route has been traveled for well over a century. Right here, cutting quietly across the road, is one of the most iconic trails in North America, the Continental Divide Trail, or CDT. Stretching over 3,100 miles from the Mexican border to Canada, this rugged path traces the spine of the Rockies, crossing through 5 states and some of the wildest terrain in the lower 48. Hikers who reach this point near Stony Pass are deep into Colorado's high country, a remote, windswept section marked by altitude, exposure, and unmatched alpine beauty. You might not see them, but somewhere just beyond the ridgelines, through hikers are grinding out miles under heavy packs, chasing that north or south dream, one step at a time. It's humbling, really, crossing paths with a trail like this, even for just a moment. It's a reminder that adventure does not always have 4 wheels. Sometimes it walks. In the 1800s, this was a lifeline, a supply and ore route connecting mining companies like Howardsville and Silverton to the outside world. Wagons and pack trains once pushed over this very ground, moving tons of silver, gold, and dreams for this unforgiving terrain. But up here, it's more than just history. There's a feeling that you've stepped into something raw and real, where every tire rotation is earned and every view is a reward. This is the soul of overlanding. This is Stony Pass.
So I don't know the story. I don't know the name. But there's a really neat old mine here on the side of the hill. All kinds of interesting little perfectly round holes. Like it's been pretty well blocked off. Still snow in there. You can hear it dripping.
Colorado first launched a voluntary mine reclamation program in 1965, which encouraged operators to restore mined lands on their own. With the passage of Federal Surface Mining Control and Reclamation Act of 1977, Colorado finalized its regulatory framework, and in 1980 mirrored the federal act, establishing the modern Colorado Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Program, which became fully operational by 1980. Since then, it's safeguarded over 10,500 hazardous mine openings and reclaimed about 4,000 acres statewide. As we continue to descend Stony Pass, civilization drew near. Trees grew taller and thicker, and there was a constant stream along the side of the road before rejoining society.
And just like that, we're back in civilization. I've got to go find a battery because it keeps charging. It charges high, but when you shut it off, it's showing below 12 volts. It's showing like 11.3, 11.2, 11.1, and it's cranked over a little slower this morning. Granted, I got two of them, two yellow tops, but I think the yellow tops are just tired. So I gotta go see if I can find a battery here in town before I continue my adventure. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Just jumping back on the Alpine loop here and headed off towards Silverton to see what we can find.
Unfortunately, my quest for a new battery would lead me all the way to Durango. This would consume the balance of the day and lead us driving into camp in the early evening.
All right, so it took forever. Got a battery in the truck, which is good. Only bought one. I'm going to try and live with the second yellow top until I get home. Takes a bit more work to replace it. Got an amazing site right here. It's one of my faves. And then tonight we're going to do something different. I'm usually the Scotto guy, but getting out the old stove-fashioned stove. We're going to do some shrimp. Some raw Argentinian shrimp. Old TJ's with some olive oil and some spicy seasoning to go along with it. And then in here I'm going to boil up some noodles. I got some spicy garlic sesame noodles. So I figured garlic, sesame, spicy noodles and shrimp. Might even throw some broccolini into it. But yeah, that's my plan. So cook them down, put them in the bowl, and then when the noodles are done, I'll put the noodles in the bowl. And then we'll add the spicy sauce, mix it all up. We should be good to go. Might be getting a little bit of precipitation. Interesting factoid about Argentinian red shrimp. They look like they're cooked, but they're not. They're actually red when they're raw instead of being gray and then turning pink. Yeah, I'll get a little light drizzle. But that's pretty beautiful.
Nestled in the canyon, cooking my dinner, the precipitation continued as you can see the water droplets on the creek behind me. This would eventually pass, and we'd move on from it. can't see it now, but that water is a crazy color of blue. I'll show it to you tomorrow. Right now I'm gonna sit back, eat my dinner, and then start working on fire. See you in a bit. So that was amazing. But earlier today we talked a little bit about some Step 22 gear and their chameleon. This is the chameleon. I keep a bunch of spices, a bunch more spices, knives, spatulas, tongs, scissors, another small spatula for mixing, spoon, fork, another spoon, long handle in case I'm eating something out of a bag, and of course Snow Peak chopsticks. So super handy. Comes with these little carabiners. You just zip it up, you unclip it. Oh, and I keep my scrapers in here for the cleaning the scuttle. A couple of those. Anyway, go check them out. Step 22 gear. It's awesome stuff from a great guy. That was weird. So it just shut down, but anyway, there you go. Got the molly panels on the back, clips. Comes with a bunch of different straps. I went with the camo, multi-cam. Really like it. Highly suggested. As the sun began to set, the sky lit up. It was absolutely incredible. However, the GoPro wasn't doing so well this evening, and it kept shutting down as it did while I was trying to show you guys the chameleon. So I grabbed a couple photos, ended up having a small campfire, relaxing, and getting some sleep, getting ready for tomorrow. If you've enjoyed this journey, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you'll know when the next step comes out, and take a look at some of our other videos. There might be something in there that you'd enjoy. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.